here's my biggest beef with many of those promoting the FIRE movement. With their left hand, they're promoting living a frugal life and only buying what you need and little bits of what you want, mostly experiences over stuff, right? And then save as much as possible. And with their right hand, they're telling people you put that savings into the stock market via ETFs and index funds, thereby counting on others to spend a lot so that those companies remain profitable and their stock continues to go up in value so that you can follow the 4% rule and blah, blah, blah. Their left hand and their right hand are saying very different things, not really in sync with each other. How can you live a frugal life but expect other people not to, so that you have enough money to live your frugal life and not have to, trade time for money in order to do so? So there's this other movement within the FIRE movement calling themselves Fat FIRE, and they seem to acknowledge that they want to spend as much as they like and just save more in order to do it, or earn more in order to live the life that they want. But this whole idea of using the market but living a frugal life, it's just one example of like the tough choices we need to make when it comes to aligning our money with our values and making sure they're working together. Today, I want to tell you a little bit of my story and the choices I've made to align my spending and my saving with what I believe, what I value, and with the world I want to help create, kind of how me and my household, how we are changing our future in order to be part of a grand narrative of change. So, welcome to the Five Movement. I'm your host, Amanda Neely. This is the only movement that helps our generation create our unique feminine and entrepreneurial path to financial independence. If you're catching us for the first time or maybe for the 10th time and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that bell so that you get notifications of future videos and episodes. Okay, so let me take you back to 2011. It's a pretty big year for me. I opened up an independent local coffee shop in the heart of Chicago the day after St. Patrick's Day. It's the best day to open a coffee shop, in case you're wondering. Just think about it. We worked our butts off for that entire year to open, to run it, but it was so worth it, especially when September rolled around and it seemed like the tides in society were turning away from the big businesses like the Star Schmucks that was just up the road from us and toward the little guys, the little mom and pop shop owners like us. We were like, yes, the world's finally getting it. I mean, yeah, 3 years earlier, the government had totally bailed out those big banks, right, in 2008. But in 2011 was when ad-busters called for people to peacefully occupy Wall Street on Constitution Day, September 17th. And they did it. The Occupy movement was born and spread quickly across the nation. September 23rd was when it marched right into Chicago, where we had our coffee shop. And I remember sitting in our loft apartment, seeing it on the news, and I was super excited because I was like, yes, these people get it. Inequality is real. The difference between the 1% and the 99% within the US is way too big, not to mention around the world. Something needs to change, and they're calling for this change. Then, amidst all the protesters, there was one close to the camera holding a Star Schmucks cup. And I leaned over to Brandon sitting on our couch and I said, I wonder if they paid for that drink with a credit card from one of the big banks they were protesting. And first of all, I want to publicly apologize to that protester, whoever he or she may be. I have no clue who you are. I'm sorry that I judged you. I definitely jumped to conclusions when I mostly agree with your cause. And I just assumed I knew something about you because of the cup you were holding. Please accept my sincerest apologies. And I don't want to make any excuses for myself, but I do have to say that time and time again, I've seen in myself and in so many others that we are not aligning our money with our true values. Whether it's saying we want to say, reduce our dependence on China or punish China for its human rights violations. And then we go and buy stuff. We don't even look at the tags. We don't even know it was made in China. And we're buying a lot of stuff that was made in China, right? Or other times I hear people say that they don't really want to support large corporations and buy their stocks and participate in, the casino that's called the stock market, but they don't know any other way to take the match from their employer, right, within their 401k. So it's just that's the only option. They have to do that even though they don't really want to. It doesn't really align with who they want to be and what they want their money to be doing. Now, and of course, none of us are perfect, right? We're always making compromises. We can't 100% align our money, at least in the system we're in, right? And I have no judgment there. But I do think that we can continue to try to do better when it's within our power to do so. And doing that better helps make it easier to do more like that in the future. Now, by do better, it could look like a lot of different things. I can't tell you what to do. I wouldn't want to tell you what to do, just like I don't want you telling me what to do. But I can tell you what I do, and you can take anything that might be helpful to you. So, one of the things I do is I try as much as possible to shop local. And I'm talking truly local, not just what's close geographically, but what's locally owned by individuals and families who live in my community, right? I go beyond the local Star Schmucks that's close to my home to a locally independent, family owned from within my community coffee shop, to buy my coffee, whether a cup or beans or whatever, right? So that's number one for me is to shop local, really support that local community. We've lost a lot of good things from doing that. And then my second thing is when I can't shop local, in particular, when I do buy things online, I try to, if I find someone has a really cool thing and I'm seeing it on a big platform, I try to check to see if I can buy it on their own website, particularly if it's a small retailer. For example, like an artist on Etsy or this product that's on Amazon, but I can check and see if they're selling it off Amazon somewhere too. And I try to buy it from their website rather than directly from the big platform. Now, number three, I think gets a lot of talk about, but I don't know if we really we're thinking about how it aligns with our values. And this is the idea of getting and staying out of debt to banks and credit card companies, particularly high interest debt. We don't want that money leaving our families, right? We want it, or leaving our wallets. We want to keep it for ourselves. But you have to think too about where that interest is going, and is it going to something that's aligning with your values, or is it going, even if you keep that interest, are you spending it right? So it's more than just getting and staying out of debt. That's really important, but thinking about where the money is going, whether it's the interest being paid out or the interest we're keeping, and if we're just going to go buy more ice cream with it or something. Not that ice cream is bad, but for me it would be because I'm allergic to milk, right? So that wouldn't be aligning with my values. So totally getting and staying out of debt ranks up there for how I align my money with my values, because I don't want my interest going somewhere where I can't align it with my values. And then finally, number four for me is a really big one. Where I save is really important to me. I want to keep the majority of my wealth outside the stock market and outside of banks. And if you're wondering, I found kind of a cooperative like arrangement where millions of other families and my own were pulling our money for the benefit of all of us. And no, it's not some weird MLM. It's actually a company that's been around since late 1800s, and there are a few of them in the US and Canada, and I'm a participant in multiple. And so let me go through these again. For shopping local, right? Only you can research your local shops and their ownership and choose to buy local. For checking small retailers' websites, only you can get off those big platforms and search a little longer, right? For getting and staying out of debt, there's so many resources out there to help you decrease your spending and increase your income so that you can have more to help pay off that debt and be smart about your money in that way. And I've actually got a great video for you to check out with two of the most common debt payoff strategies and the one that I used. I'll link to that in the show notes in case you're in the situation where you're like, I've got to get out of debt, but I want to do it smartly. Teach me how. That link will be in the show notes. But this fourth one about keeping the majority of my wealth outside the stock market and banks is something you will not hear a lot of people talk about. It's hotly debated because of the power of big institutions and the power they have over our discourse, what financial professionals are taught and shown to teach others, right? But I have personal experience with some of those things that are outside of the mainstream. And I found it tremendously helpful. And it's actually kind of hard for me to see some of those mainstream things because I know that it's because of the interest behind them. So for the next few episodes, I'm going to keep going deeper with this idea. For now, I want to leave you with this question. If you could keep your money safe and see it grow predictably by participating with millions of other Americans in a mutually beneficial model, wouldn't you at least want to know about it? And what if that didn't take away your ability to grow your business, take advantage of opportunities in the stock market if you really want to, start investing in real estate, help your kids go to college, whatever things you want to do with that money? And if it actually maybe even helped you do all the parts of your financial life easier and more efficiently, wouldn't it be worth checking out and keeping an open mind about it? And remember, during the Great Transition, we're in as a society, the change you wish to see happens one household at a time. It starts with the household in the mirror. And as we continue to transform, it's going to make that grand solution easier and faster. Thanks for joining me and connecting with the Fife movement. As you go about your day today, remember, wealth is coming your way. Your quest is to prepare for it well. For more tips on how to prepare, be sure to subscribe. And to connect with the community, visit fifemovement.com. If my gift has helped you today, please pay the gift forward by sharing this content with a friend. My gratitude in advance. Hey, if you're checking us out on YouTube, please be sure to hit that little like button, and we invite your feedback in the comments. We want to hear from you. How are you aligning your money with your values right now in 2020 and beyond? Peace.